Welcome to the Nightly Rant. I'm Mike.
And I'm Torya.
This is the show where we talk about the awful things that have happened in our day, the awesome things that have happened in our day,
and all the things in between.
Thanks for listening, and we truly hope you enjoy.
Do you miss the glory days of talk radio, where the hosts knew their stuff and were not spreading fake stories? What would it be like if those same hosts could speak their mind and not have to answer to management for it? I have just the thing for you. Spencer Hughes Podcast Adventures is the new show from Spencer Hughes, formerly of Fox News Radio and a host of other places. For as little as $1 a month, you can have access to Spencer again. His insights will make you think, and his humor will make you laugh. This is your chance to help a man build his dream and support his family. Head over to patreon.com/Spencer Hughes today and subscribe to one of the several levels you can choose from. You will not be disappointed in the content you are going to begin receiving. Patreon.com/Spencer Hughes. Adventurous content, the way radio used to be.
So the only word I have to describe what we just witnessed was interesting.
And the word I chose was alarming.
Okay, I chose interesting because what we just witnessed wasn't bad, wasn't particularly good, it just was.
It was just a thing.
Why do you feel it was alarming? Because that's your word you use when you don't like something. So
well,
I
don't entirely use it when I don't like something. Just when I have zero comprehension of what I just witnessed.
So, why don't you tell people what the heck we're talking about?
So, somebody saw an advertisement for local roller derby in our community group and decided he was super excited to go.
Exactly.
So we went.
And
because it's not very often you're super excited about going to something.
I will say this, okay? I will say this. They use an online ticketing service called brown bag tickets or something like that, or brown paper tickets, something like that. And that worked really well. You're about to get assaulted by Pretty Girl.
I know. She's going to scratch me.
That worked really well. Okay, so I give them an A+ on that. Then I would say that as far as the location goes, like, there was plenty of parking, because I don't know that you don't know that park, but on the other side of the park, there's like hundreds of parking spaces. So there's plenty of parking. And then they had like the barricades up so that people couldn't just peek in. And they had the ticket taker who was all ready to go, no problems. I mean, there was like, It was very, very smooth. And there were seats already set up. I mean, it was just super smooth. I give that an A+.
Yeah.
But I think before the thing started,
maybe they
should take a couple of minutes to explain the rules and how scoring happens.
Yeah, that would be helpful, because if you've never been, it was very confusing.
So, like what happens is, there's like a whole herd of women in the middle, and then there's two women that are called the jammers. And the jammers,
one from each team.
The jammers score the points. There's one from each team. And the jammers try to jam their way through the horde of women. So the horde of women is playing defense and offense at the same exact moment. And once you push through, you get a point for breaking through.
Okay.
Then when you come back around, however many women you pass, that's how many points you get. So, for instance, if the jammer of the other team is still stuck back there and you go around, you're going to pass 5 women, and that puts you past, it gives you 5 points. If you only pass 4, you get 4 points.
Okay.
And now that's pretty much the whole thing. I don't understand, like, the strategy of calling off the jam after you score some points. I don't get any of that. And that's the problem. And here's the thing. At $8 a ticket, I'm not going back just to figure that out.
Right.
Like, if it was $3 or some real token donation, let's face it, these are amateurs. And I understand that it costs them money to rent that rink. They have to pay insurance. I'm sure they have equipment needs. I'm sure the referees get paid. I get all that. but it just seems like a lot to pay when you don't understand what the heck is going on. Maybe they need to put a video out explaining the rules. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities that could happen there. But I think if you're the person who runs one of those teams and you're listening to this podcast, I think you should send us an email at info@yogispodcastnetwork.com.
And explain to us what the hell is going on.
And you could also go to yogispodcastnetwork.com/feedback. And that will, I think that's the right address, and that will get you to a feedback form that you can then submit. And it goes to the same place as info@yogispodcastnetwork.com. But not only do I want an explanation, but I think maybe we could help them market their stuff a little bit better. You know, you're not going to make, like I just said, if I understood it, I'm going to be honest with you. If I understood what was going on and I could enjoy it, I would probably go back again. It's one of those things. It's local. My gosh, it was what? 8 minutes from our house.
It wasn't exactly far.
You know, it was local. It would be something that, like, on a weekend night when we don't have the kids, it'd be something different that we could just go and have fun once in a while. But not at $8 when I don't understand what the heck is going on. Yeah, that's the right address. yogispodcastnetwork.com/feedback.
Heck, if you wanted to, you could even come on the show and you can explain it to all the other people.
Yeah, we would love to have you. We would love
fabulous.
to have you. Seriously.
Just come clarify. We like clarification. We're very confused today.
So, but it was, I mean, I suppose in a way I had fun because it was something different. And I hadn't ever seen anything like that. You know, I mean, I'd seen the old-fashioned roller derby years ago, but I'd never seen this flat track roller derby. It was interesting in that respect.
And you and your jokes that you should get Victoria out there. No.
So I told Alyssa that we should have Victoria start training, and she could go join the roller derby, and we could call her Toryasaurus.
Don't.
And it would be really cute. And we would get you a dinosaur tail. And it would be really cute. But your team would have to be green. You'd have to be on the Prison City team because they were green. You can't be on the black team.
Why would my team have to be green?
Because Toryasaurus doesn't have a black tail. She has a green tail.
Excuse me, sir, but if I was a dinosaur, I'd be a black dinosaur.
Here comes Parker, meowing like a lunatic. Always in the middle of our podcast, these animals. Anyway, I think you'd make a cute Toryasaurus.
That is my Game Center username.
It's also
on my phone.
It's also your HQ username.
Yeah, and some other random things. I got really bored of my old username, so I've started migrating things slowly to Toryasaurus.
What I found really interesting was that, like, I honestly expected it to be a lot more really big women.
Why?
Just a stereotype I have of roller derby women. I mean,
Oh.
but there were some that were bigger, some that were like medium sized, and some that were like average
Teeny
to
tiny.
smaller.
Teeny tiny. There was one woman, and she was like super, super tall and really, really teeny tiny, and she was fast.
Were there any attractive ones that you thought?
I don't know.
That was my problem.
They were wearing a
Everybody's
super
wearing a helmet,
unattractive costume.
helmets, and an unattractive uniform.
To be fair, we were invited to come tonight by someone, and I could not figure out which one she was.
What do you mean?
The person who advertised this event.
Oh, I'm guessing it was the announcer.
That's possible. I didn't see the announcer.
Yeah.
I looked for her too, and I didn't see her anywhere.
But it was a good time overall. I mean, like I said, it's like going to a concert for a band you've never heard of before. Mm-hmm. The music might be decent, but if you're honest, you're not totally getting it.
Fair enough. That's how I felt about the first time I went to your...
See. Yep, it's the announcer.
0% amused that you pulled my phone away from me while I was looking something
Well, I'm 0% amused that you were sitting there and staring at the screen.
I was waiting for Facebook to load.
It already loaded. I could see it. See? 0% amused.
Uh-huh.
Then when we went out, we had a nice, fun time. I wanted to get my jacket out the trunk of the car. And one of the spray bottles in the car had moved, and it locked itself into the latch, and so the latch wouldn't open, and so we had to open the back seat. Thankfully, the back seat does open.
He's headbutting me.
Yeah. We had to open the back seat up and then pull stuff out so we could get at the latch that opens the trunk. You know, it's funny. That latch that's supposed to save people who get stuck in a trunk has helped us many times.
It really has. But never because we've been stuck in the trunk, but because the trunk has been stuck.
Yeah, it's... I don't know.
Do you remember? Oh my gosh. When your trunk wouldn't open, I thought it was going to be another freaking latch broken situation. That was unpleasant.
Yeah, no broken latch.
No, just a broken spray bottle.
Even the spray bottle wasn't broken. It was just jammed in the wrong place. It moved.
What?
But
I don't pay attention to his headbutts. He's going to come at me from above?
You know what's interesting? Is it reminded me, the roller derby reminded me of the female wrestling that they used to have years ago, and they called it GLOW. Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. And, like, these women would go out there and have crazy names. Like, there were crazy names tonight. There was the chick that was dressed up to look like Sailor Moon, only a dark version of her.
There was Mother
and
Chucker.
her name was Slayer Moon. And then there was Mother Chucker. And what else was there? There was Doom.
I don't remember.
There was Doom. There was Slammin Da Beers. Trying to think of who else. Dr. Speed. Dr. Speed was on the other team. Then there was that one with 3 names that all started with a V.
They were all calling her Vicious.
Her last name of the 3 was Vicious. I can't think of any others. But it's interesting. They all have their little nicknames, and they're painted on they're written on their helmet, and they're written on their jersey.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, some of them were better skaters than others, that's for sure. But
some of them were super new.
But they were all pretty decent at what they were doing. I mean, like, I wouldn't say any of them stood out to me as like, oh, there's a total noob.
Right.
I was quite impressed, actually, with their skating abilities and their knowledge of the game that they were playing. You know, like, they clearly understood it way better than we did. And I
would hope so.
But my thought process was the people right behind us seemed to know all about how it worked. And they were enjoying it. And that's my thing. I think if we understood it, we would probably enjoy it.
It's possible. It's possible.
I mean, we discovered...
I didn't not enjoy it.
Well, exactly. It was what I mean by... That's the thing. We were kind of neutral and confused. And even when we were leaving, we were trying to figure out the scoring. And then that's when Alyssa came up with the whole, well, it seems like when they did this, they got more points than when they did that. And that really wasn't the exact answer, but it was close.
It's closer than either of us got.
Yep. Pretty girl's too funny.
If you bite my cable, I will kick you. Cat.
Two cats. Your computer's being attacked by one and mine's being attacked by the other.
They're double teaming.
So then today was interesting because we had to run Alyssa to her dance thing. Then we had to run Mitchell to his party. Then we had to pick Alyssa back up. Then we went to lunch. Then we went to yogurt. Then we came home. Then we had to go pick Mitchell up. Then we had to go to roller derby. It was like one thing after another, after another, after another, after another.
Can we not take anyone anywhere tomorrow? We have one day where we don't have to drive in 17 different directions at once.
Well, yeah, we don't have anywhere to go tomorrow.
We're going to IKEA. That's it. That's all.
That's it.
IKEA and naps.
I had planned on sleeping until like 8 o'clock this morning, but, 3 o'clock, there I was, wide awake.
You were about 5 hours off?
Yeah, it wasn't very helpful. I was kind of annoyed. Hey, and before we sign off here, did you know that from Teen Mom, Kaylin has a podcast?
I had heard this, but didn't.
It's called Coffee Convos.
I
don't like when people take words and abbreviate them for a title.
She was talking about it in one of the episodes. I think she's a giant dingus, so I really don't care what she has to say outside of the show of Teen Mom. But I think it's interesting how many of the teen moms make and have podcasts, like Farrah and Friend.
Come on, that lasted like 2 episodes.
That's why I said Farrah and Friend.
Did you hear that they're replacing Farrah on the Teen Mom OG show with some lady that hasn't ever actually been a teen mom?
I didn't hear who they were replacing her with, but I did hear that they were going to replace her.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She's one of the MTV reality star people, which seems to be about all MTV has, is reality star people.
I don't know why they waste... Why don't they just not? The only reason that show is still good is because people are following the same stories. When you replace them with somebody stupid...
Well, it's like Teen Mom 2. I am not sad to hear that Brianna is leaving.
Don't care.
Not because of her, but because of the change in the dynamic of the show. And quite honestly, it kind of sounds silly, but the fact that Javi started dating her kind of fit, because then at least it blended 2 pieces of the storyline together. But you're right, like adding a brand new person who you've never followed before, don't know anything about, I don't have time to sit there and get to know her.
At least Brianna was from Teen Mom 3. At least she'd been on a Teen Mom franchise before.
You know how many episodes of Teen Mom 3 I've seen?
There was 1 season of it.
I've seen exactly 0.
There was 1 season. But at least she'd been on something. You could go and watch the beginning part of Brianna's story if you wanted to. She was on 16 and Pregnant, and then she did 1 season of Teen Mom 3.
Yeah, you could catch up, sure.
But if they put somebody new in, I'm just not going to give a rat's ass. I just don't care.
Well, and especially to replace a psycho like Farrah.
And you can't replace somebody on Teen Mom OG. Original girls.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they can't possibly be an original girl anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they do better off to merge them together. Teen Mom OG and Teen Mom 2.
Maybe now it stands for offensive girls. But
if they make it go on much longer, they're going to be old grandmas.
But I'm tired.
That show is long.
I've been up way too long. I'm super tired. So
go to bed. Good night, everyone.
Hasta la bye-bye. Hi, everyone. This is Mike, and I truly hope you enjoyed this show. You're able to subscribe to this show on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher so as to never miss an episode. If, by chance, you did miss an episode here or there, you can catch up on all shows, past and present, by heading over to yogispodcastnetwork.com/TNR show. Thanks for listening.